Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today we are going to talk about one of the most beautiful and meaningful coins released by the United States Mint, the 2022 Maya Angelou $quarter. This is not just a regular piece of change you find in your pocket. This coin carries history, inspiration, and even hidden value that could surprise collectors around the world. So, if you love coins, or you are just curious about the stories behind them, listen carefully till the end, because this quarter could be worth much more than 25 cents. The Maya Angelou quarter was released in 2022 as part of the American Women Quarters program, a special series honoring influential women in U.S. history. And what a powerful way to begin, with the legendary Maya Angelou, the first black woman ever featured on a U.S. quarter. She was a poet, author, and civil rights activist whose words and courage changed lives. Now, her spirit shines on this coin, symbolizing hope and freedom. When you look closely at this coin, you'll see why collectors love it. On the front side, there's the image of George Washington, but this is a slightly different portrait, designed by sculptor Laura Garden Fraser back in 1931, though it was never used until now. On the back side, you'll see Maya Angelou standing tall with her arms lifted toward a rising sun, with a bird soaring behind her. Every element on this coin represents freedom, faith, and strength, just like Maya Angelou's life itself. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Even though millions of these quarters were minted for circulation, not all of them are the same. Some rare errors and varieties have been discovered that make certain coins far more valuable than their face value. Collectors are especially searching for these hidden gems. One of the most talked about errors is the drooling George error, which shows a small raised metal line near Washington's mouth. It looks like he's drooling. This happened due to a small die break during minting. Another variety shows a die chip or cut under the letter R in the word quarter on the reverse side. Some collectors have even reported minor doubling on the lettering or cracks near the rim. These errors may seem small, but to coin collectors, they can mean a big difference in value. The 2022 Maya Angelou quarter was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, marked with a P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The P and D mint coins are the ones you might find in circulation, while the S mint coins were made mainly for collectors, often in proof or silver-proof finishes. The proof and silver-proof coins have a mirror-like shine and crisp details, making them highly desirable for serious collectors. What makes this coin extra special is that it's the first in its series. Every first issue in a coin program often gains extra importance among collectors, especially when it features someone as iconic as Maya Angelou. The combination of historical significance, beautiful design, and possible mint errors makes it a must-have coin for many enthusiasts. Collectors pay close attention to the condition of their coins. The better the condition, the higher the value. A coin that still has its original mint luster and no scratches or wear marks is called uncirculated. These can be worth several times more than the same coin used in circulation. Coins graded by professional companies like PCGS or NGC in high grades such as MS-67 or MS-68 can sell for big money, especially if they also have a rare error or variety. Now imagine this: you're going through your change and you find a shiny 2022 Maya Angelou quarter. You flip it over and notice something a little different. Maybe a small chip, or a raised mark, or even a doubling in the letters. That tiny detail could be what turns your coin into a treasure worth hundreds of dollars. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. You never know when a little piece of history might land right in your hands. Every coin tells a story, but this one tells a story of art, equality, and achievement. It's more than a symbol of value, it's a tribute to a woman who inspired millions with her words and her strength. And owning one isn't just owning a coin, it's like holding a piece of history that continues to inspire future generations. Now let's talk about the real market prices and auction values. A regular 2022 Maya Angelou quarter found in circulation is generally worth around its face value of 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples in bright mint condition can sell for $1 to $3. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint often range between $5 and $10, while silver-proof versions can go from $15 to $30 depending on condition. Rare error coins, like those with die chips or doubling, have sold for anywhere between $100 to $500. And the highest graded examples, such as MS-67 or higher certified coins, have reached auction prices of several hundred to even a few $1,000s for perfect, high-quality, or error specimens. Top 2, we are going to talk about a coin that may look like an ordinary piece of change but actually carries a fascinating story, mystery, and hidden value, the 1966 United States quarter dollar. So if you're a coin lover, a collector, or just someone curious about the hidden treasures in your pocket, listen carefully till the end, because this 1966 quarter might just surprise you. The 1966 Washington quarter was born during a turning point in American coin history. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, giving them both beauty and intrinsic value. But in 1965, the U.S. Mint removed silver from circulation coins and began producing quarters made of copper and nickel. So, the 1966 quarter was one of the first in this new era. No silver, no mint marks, but full of hidden potential. Now, here's where the story gets even more interesting. During the mid-1960s, America faced a coin shortage. People were hoarding old silver coins, and the mint was under pressure to make billions of new coins quickly. Because of this rush, the mint decided not to use mint marks in 1965, 1966, and 1967. So, if you look at a 1966 quarter and wonder why there's no P, D, or S, that's not an error, that's how it was made, but that doesn't mean there aren't rare and valuable versions of this coin. The 1966 quarter is full of small mysteries that make it exciting for collectors. Some rare varieties and minting errors can turn this 25-cent coin into something worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's start with one of the most famous, the 1966 silver transitional error. A few quarters from 1966 were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964. These rare coins are slightly heavier, about 6.25 grams compared to the standard 5.67 grams of the clad version. They also have a softer, silvery ring when dropped and a completely silver edge instead of the copper stripe you see on modern coins. If you ever find one of these, you've hit the jackpot, because these are among the rarest modern U.S. coin errors. Other known 1966 quarter varieties include double die obverse or reverse, where letters and numbers look doubled due to a die misalignment during striking. You might notice this doubling on the word Liberty, In God We Trust, or the eagle's feathers on the reverse. Some coins also show off-center strikes, die cracks, and clipped planchets, small curved pieces missing from the coin's edge due to minting mistakes. Each of these errors increases the coin's rarity and value. Now, let's talk about another special version, the 1966 Special Mint Set, SMS, quarter. During 1966, the Mint did not produce regular proof coins but instead released these special sets with coins that were struck using polished dies, giving them a smooth, satin-like appearance. These coins were made only for collectors and were never released into general circulation. A perfect SMS quarter with deep, mirror-like surfaces is highly collectible and worth far more than face value. The beauty of collecting 1,966 quarters lies in the thrill of discovery. Imagine checking your old change, and there it is, a bright, uncirculated 1966 quarter, or one with a tiny minting error. For most people, it's just a coin, but for collectors, it's a piece of history, a reminder of a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning from silver to modern metals. Each coin tells a story, and finding one with a rare flaw is like finding treasure in plain sight. Collectors especially look for coins in high grades. An uncirculated 1966 quarter with sharp details and no wear marks can easily fetch several dollars, while a coin graded MS-67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can command impressive prices. The better the condition and the rarer the error, the higher the value climbs. So before you toss that old quarter aside, take a moment to really look at it. Check the weight, the edges, and the fine details. You never know, it could be a hidden gem that has been sitting unnoticed for decades. Many collectors have found valuable coins right out of old jars, rolls, or family change boxes, and the 1966 quarter is one that definitely deserves a second look. Now, let's reveal the real market prices and auction values. A regular circulated 1966 quarter is usually worth around its face value of 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples can sell from $1 to $5 depending on condition. The 1966 special mint set quarters are often worth around $5 to $15, and in high grades can reach $50 or more. But here's where things get exciting: the rare silver transitional era quarters from 1966 have sold in auctions for hundreds and even thousands of dollars, depending on the grade and authenticity. Some top-graded special mint set examples have also reached auction prices of over $1,000. Top 3. We are going to explore one of the most overlooked but truly fascinating coins in modern U.S. history, the 1982 United States of America quarter dollar. At first, it might look like a simple Washington quarter you see every day, but believe me, this coin carries hidden secrets, rare varieties, and valuable errors that can turn an ordinary 25-cent piece into a real collector's treasure. So coin lovers, listen carefully till the end and enjoy, because this coin story will make you check every 1982 quarter you come across. The 1982 quarter came during a very unique time in American coin production. This was the year when the U.S. Mint made a surprising decision: they did not release any official mint or proof sets for collectors. That's right, 1982 was one of those rare years when the only way to get a quarter was straight from circulation. Because of this, finding a high-quality, uncirculated 1982 quarter today is not easy. Most coins from that year entered circulation immediately, got worn down, and lost their mint shine. That's why pristine, mint-condition 1982 quarters are far more valuable than most people realize. On the obverse side of the coin, we see the classic portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan, a design that's been part of American coinage since 1932. Around the portrait are the words, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," with the date 1982 below. On the reverse side, we have the bold image of an American bald eagle with wings spread, holding arrows and olive branches, a strong symbol of peace and strength. Now, here's where things get exciting. The 1982 quarters were minted in two locations: Philadelphia, with no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a small d. But because there were no collector's sets that year, very few coins were preserved in uncirculated condition. Most ended up in pockets, registers, and circulation, which makes untouched examples much rarer today. Collectors have discovered several varieties and minting errors that make certain 1982 quarters worth far more than face value. One of the most interesting is the double die error, where parts of the design, such as the letters "In Liberty" or "In God We Trust," appear slightly doubled. This happens when the coin die shifts during the minting process, and these coins are extremely collectible. Another valuable variety is the off-center strike, where the design was stamped unevenly, leaving part of the surface blank. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes. There are also clipped planchets, where a small curved section of the edge is missing due to a minting mistake, and die cracks that create raised lines or bumps on the coin's surface. Each of these errors makes a coin unique, and in the world of coin collecting, uniqueness equals value. Collectors also look for high-grade strikes, coins that have full details on Washington's hair, a clean surface with no scratches, and clear feather lines on the eagle. These quarters are known as mint state or MS coins, and they can sell for impressive prices, especially when professionally graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. The thrill of hunting for a perfect 1982 quarter is what makes this coin special. Because there were no proof sets or uncirculated rolls made for collectors, every well-preserved coin today survived purely by luck. That's why many coin enthusiasts call the 1982 quarter a modern rarity. To make things even more fascinating, 1982 was a transitional time in U.S. coin production. The mint was still perfecting its copper-nickel-clad composition after switching from silver in the 1960s, which sometimes led to unusual planchet or striking issues. Some collectors even believe there may be rare transitional errors out there, coins struck on older or experimental planchets, which could be worth a fortune if found and authenticated. Now, let's talk about what everyone wants to know, the real market prices and auction values. A typical 1982 quarter found in circulation is still worth its face value of 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples in mint condition can sell for between $2 and $5. If the coin has strong luster, a perfect strike, or high-grade certification, it can easily reach $10 to $50. Coins with rare mint errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets, can range from $100 to several $100 depending on the error and condition. And the top-graded examples, 1982 quarters certified at mint state 67 or higher, have been sold at major auctions for over $1,000. So next time you see a 1982 quarter, don't ignore it. Look closely at the date, the edges, and the details. You might just be holding a coin that's worth much more than you think. Whether it's an error coin, a perfectly preserved uncirculated piece, or a rare high-grade example, the 1982 quarter is a reminder that even modern coins can hold exciting secrets and real value. Top 4, we are going to talk about one of the most fascinating coins from American history, the 1971 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, it looks like just another Washington quarter that you see every day, but what if I told you that some 1971 quarters are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. This small piece of metal might carry a hidden story, a minting error, or a rarity that makes it a collector's dream. So listen carefully till the end and enjoy, because you might have one of these valuable coins sitting right in your change jar. The 1971 quarter comes from a very important time in U.S. coinage. Just a few years earlier, the mint had stopped using silver in regular coins. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, but by 1971, they were completely copper-nickel clad coins. That's a copper core coated with nickel on both sides. This change might seem small, but it opened the door for some very unusual minting errors, and those are exactly what makes certain 1971 quarters rare and expensive today. Let's start with the basics. On the front, or obverse, you'll see the familiar portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. Above his head is the word Liberty, to the left, In God We Trust, and the date, 1971, below. On the back, or reverse, you'll find the bold American eagle with spread wings, perched on a bundle of arrows and surrounded by olive branches, a symbol of peace and strength. Now here's something interesting. The 1971 quarter was minted in 3 locations, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, the Denver coins carry a small D, and the San Francisco coins have an S. But here's the twist, San Francisco made both regular proof coins for collectors and some circulation strike coins. Those proofs have an incredibly sharp, mirror-like finish and are already worth more than their face value if kept in perfect condition, but the real excitement begins when we talk about errors and varieties. During the early 1970s, the U.S. Mint was still adjusting to large-scale clad coin production, and mistakes sometimes happened. One of the most famous 1971 quarter errors is the off-metal strike, a coin that was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for another denomination. For example, a 1971 quarter struck on a nickel planchet or even on a silver planchet from a leftover blank can be worth a small fortune. These coins have the wrong weight and color, making them easy to spot for sharp-eyed collectors. Another valuable type is the double die error, where parts of the design appear double due to a die misalignment. Look closely at the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see any doubling or ghost-like outlines, you might be looking at a rare and valuable 1971 double die quarter. Some 1971 quarters also show off-center strikes, where the design is not perfectly aligned with the edge of the coin. The more dramatic the off-center image, the higher the value. There are also clipped planchet errors, where a small curved section is missing from the coin's edge, and die cracks that leave raised lines or bumps across the coin's surface. These small imperfections can turn an ordinary coin into a collectible piece of minting history. Collectors especially prize 1971 quarters that are in uncirculated or mint state condition. Finding one with full luster and sharp details, especially around Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, can be a real challenge. High-grade coins are rare because most 1971 quarters went straight into circulation and were heavily used. But those few that survived untouched can fetch impressive prices. Now, here's an interesting detail for collectors. The 1971 proof quarters from the San Francisco Mint have beautiful mirror-like surfaces and frosted designs. If you find one that was never handled, still in its original condition, it could be worth many times more than a regular coin. Some even have cameo or deep cameo finishes, which increase their desirability and market value. So, what makes the 1971 quarter so exciting? It's not just about its age, it's about the hidden treasures that lie within this year's mintage. Between the experimental errors, rare high-grade survivors, and special proof coins, there's a world of discovery waiting for collectors. It's one of those coins that proves you don't need to go back 100 years to find something valuable. Sometimes the treasure is hiding in plain sight. Now let's talk about the real market value and auction prices. A regular 1971 quarter found in circulation is worth its face value of 25 cents. However, if you find one in uncirculated or mint state condition, it can be worth between $1 and $10 depending on the grade. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint usually sell for around $5 to $15, but those with deep cameo contrast can reach up to $30 or more. Error coins, like double dies or off-center strikes, can range anywhere from $100 to several $100 depending on the severity of the error. And the extremely rare 1971 off-metal strike quarters, such as those struck on silver or nickel planchets, have sold for thousands of dollars in major auctions. Top 5 and last rare coin. We are going to talk about a coin that may look ordinary but holds some surprising secrets, the 1998 United States of America quarter dollar. This little piece of metal has more history, mystery, and hidden value than most people realize. So, if you love coins, collecting treasures, or simply want to know which quarters in your pocket could be worth real money, then listen carefully till the end and enjoy this story. The 1998 quarter belongs to the last generation of the classic Washington quarter design before the United States Mint launched the famous 50-state quarter series in 1999. That makes it special. It's the final year of an era that began in 1932 with the very first Washington quarter. For collectors, that alone gives it a special place in U.S. coinage history. The obverse features the timeless image of George Washington designed by John Flanagan, with the word "Liberty" above his head and "In God We Trust" on the left side. The date 1998 sits just below Washington's neck. The reverse side displays the proud American bald eagle standing on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches beneath, symbolizing both strength and peace. It's a design that millions of Americans grew up seeing, a true icon of U.S. currency. The 1998 quarter was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, with no mint mark; Denver, marked D; and San Francisco, marked S. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced hundreds of millions of circulation coins, but the San Francisco Mint produced special proof versions for collectors. These proof coins were struck with polished dies, creating a beautiful mirror-like shine and frosted details. Now, what really makes some 1998 quarters rare and expensive are the errors and varieties that occurred during minting. Even in a year of mass production, the mint sometimes made mistakes, and those mistakes are exactly what collectors are looking for. One of the most famous and valuable varieties is the 1998 silver proof quarter. While most quarters are made from copper nickel, these special proofs were struck in 90% silver. They were never released into circulation, but some people have found them mixed in with regular change after being broken out of proof sets. If you find one, check its edge. A real silver quarter will not have the copper-colored stripe along the side. It will also have a different weight and a distinct ring when dropped gently on a surface. Another sought-after 1998 variety is the wide AM error found on some proof quarters. This happens when the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America is slightly wider than normal. While this type of error is better known on Lincoln cents, similar striking differences have been found on some 1998 quarters, making them highly collectible to variety hunters. There are also several classic minting errors known from this year, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and double dies. For example, some coins show a doubling on the words "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," giving them a shadow-like appearance. These double die errors can fetch impressive prices depending on how strong and visible the doubling is. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or misaligned, are also valuable, especially if the date is still clearly visible. Collectors also search for high-grade 1998 quarters in mint condition. Since billions of these coins were made for everyday use, finding one with no scratches, no wear, and full mint luster is surprisingly rare. Coins graded mint state 67 or higher by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC can be worth much more than face value, and let's not forget about the 1998 Deep Cameo silver-proof quarters. These are among the most beautiful examples ever produced, with mirror backgrounds and frosted details. Perfect graded examples, known as PR70 Deep Cameos, are prized by collectors and often sell for high prices in auctions. The reason collectors love the 1998 quarter is that it represents the end of an era, the last time the traditional eagle design appeared before America moved to the 50-state quarters program. That makes it both a historical and emotional piece for those who have been collecting coins for years. It's a bridge between the classic and modern designs of U.S. currency. Now let's get to the part everyone is waiting for, the real market prices and auction values. A regular circulated 1998 quarter is still worth its face value of 25 cents. However, if you have a brilliant uncirculated coin in mint state, it can be worth around $2 to $5. High-grade examples, especially those graded MS 67 or higher, can sell for $20 to $50. Proof coins from San Francisco usually sell for $5 to $10, while the silver-proof versions can reach $20 to $30 depending on condition. Coins with mint errors like double dies or off-center strikes have sold from $100 to several $100s, depending on the type and visibility of the error, and the top-tier specimens, the flawless PR70 Deep Cameo silver-proof quarters, have reached auction prices of over $1,000. So next time you come across a 1998 quarter, don't overlook it. Check the edges, check the details, and keep an eye out for anything unusual. You might be holding one of the last classic Washington quarters, a coin that marks the end of a historic design and possibly a hidden treasure worth real money. Keep your eyes open, keep collecting, and remember, even the smallest coin can tell a big story.